Hello and welcome to Neverwinter Nights, and this will be part 53. In the previous episode, we finished off Mutimin's challenge dungeon. So here we go. I said I was going to do the remaining follower items, or all of the follower items of Recording with Teflon. They are now all plus 3 items. I am contemplating using some of them, but yeah.
It is good to see you again.
We need to
At
speak to
times I
Arbeth.
worry that you have taken on too much responsibility yourself, yet always you surprise me with your resourcefulness and success. Have you yet discovered any new information on the cult? I am angry. I have been thinking more and more of how Fenthic met his end, and how I did nothing to stop it, and I grow even more angry. Fenthic devoted his entire life to the service of justice and the performance of his duty, just as I have. And what did he get for it? Discarded. Discarded by his liege lord to appease the witless masses. Discarded by his god for one foolish mistake. Tell me why I shouldn't be angry. Fenthic deserves plenty of my ire as well. The stupid, stupid fool! If only he had been less trusting, less devoted, he never would have ended as he did. And so Fenthic got his final reward. Thank you, Tyr, Lord of Justice, for aiding your faithful servant. Shall I be next, then? Shall I, too, end my life a traitor? Executed for being too adhered to my duty to question injustice when I see it? Will Tyr abandon me then, too? I don't know. Tyr brought me here, put me on this path. I want to know why. Why teach me true justice and then throw it in my face? All I know is that I am tired of being sad. I am tired of feeling helpless. I feel guilty for questioning myself, but I feel I must be questioned. Vengeance is not Tyr's way, but I fear I see no justice being done here. There is no justice to be had for Fenthic, only vengeance, and I cannot do it. Perhaps it is just the dreams. They continue to come and get worse each night. I hear voices crying out, so many voices. I see Fenthic killed before me over and over. I hear laughter, and so many crying out to me for help. I almost cannot bear it. Promise me as my dearest friend, that you will find this cult and visit upon them the vengeance that I cannot. I see. It is all I can think of that will silence the dreams. Perhaps you are right. Perhaps all I need is some rest to put this into proper perspective. You have been a fine friend. Here, take this. It is a ring that belonged to my father. I want you to have it. Let it symbolize our friendship. Perhaps if something were to happen to me, it would remind you of me in days to come. I don't mean anything, my friend. It is simply fatigue and worry that make me speak such. Please, take the ring. That makes me glad. You do me a great honor by carrying it. Let us speak more later. Go, find where the heart of this cult resides, and return to me. I wish you luck with all my heart.
I think it's becoming fairly obvious that certain things are going to change. And of course, Albert is becoming more and more bitter about the whole scenario that occurred in the first chapter, at the end of the first chapter. And of course, it has been building up slowly over time, but we got her ring, and she insists on us having it.
It is good to see you again. Have you yet discovered any new information on the cult? This is good news. What have you discovered? This Mogram grows desperate, I see. They fear you, and well they should. While this information you bring is incredibly valuable, it still does not tell us where the cult is based. We need that information if we are to strike at them. Fortunately, it does mention where more cultists may be found. Charwood and the Neverwinter Woods. Search those places, perhaps, for the information we seek. Have you found any other information? Then I wish you luck. It is good to see you. Have you yet discovered any new information on the cult? Then I wish you well. It is good to see you again. Have you yet discovered any new information on the cult? This is good news. What have you discovered? So, the cult sought to strike at you again. And this time they have given themselves away in the process. Well done! This information suggests that this Mogram and his cult are to be found within Luskan. I do wonder, however, if this is not some attempt on their part to deceive us. Perhaps they meant for you to find this? I would like you to continue your investigation, just in case. I need a second piece of information that supports the first to be absolutely certain it is the truth. We can afford no mistake. The ramblings of a madman. One has to wonder what this cult hoped to achieve in that haunted place. This information confirms it then. The cult is located within Luskan. Excellent work. You have justified Lord Nash's faith in you and more. You will need to get into Luskan and enter the host tower itself. Speak to Erin. Hopefully he will have some ideas on how you can go about this. Both Erin and I will join you in Luskan, of course. Erin will be there to help you enter the tower. As for me, I have other plans. I wish I could tell you, but I cannot. I have little choice in the matter. Please, just do as you are asked to. Do not be alarmed in any case. I have my orders just as you do. I will see you in Luskan. Go then and speak to Erin. I hope that... I wish... No, never mind. Be safe.
Haringen has arranged with the gate captain that we can play that through. He probably got some dirt on him or something, so he wouldn't be arguing against it. But we are now led into Luskan, which is a item reset break, so to speak, whereas it will remove all quest-related items that we haven't dropped or whatever. Naturally, they will be removed from the inventory, but we are still in Chapter 2. And I will say upfront that this episode is going to be extremely heavy edited, which it may annoy some people, and if it does, I'm sorry about it, but Chapter 2 is one humongous grindfest, basically. We'll go and pick up some quests. A guy's sister is missing. It turns out that there are two remaining captains in Luskan that are vying for control, and apparently they are doing pretty much as they please. And they have taken a sister here and 9 children there and all sorts of nasties. And of course, people are wanting us to try and do something about it.
I beg you to leave me be.
This little lady
I
has
have
lost
nothing to
everything,
say.
and
I have nothing
one of the
left to
captains
speak.
has taken her kids from her. which of course, I mean, poor thing. I think losing everything else must be hard enough, but the kids as well. So we promise to try and locate them and see what we can do for her. Luskan is a city known for being a city of scoundrels and crooks and villains. But I think whoever did the writing of this part must have had a root canal appointment at the dentist the same day,
Why,
because
hello there, darling.
it can
Come for a
feel
bit of
unnecessarily, wouldn't necessarily say dark, but grinding on your soul, so to speak. In order to depict the two captains as being some very, very unpleasant individuals, there will be aspects of these quests which are rather unpleasant. We speak to the matron in the local pleasure house, to use a neutral term, and she recommends that we go and speak to Vienna. And she is, sorry, yeah, Vienna. But we also spoke to Yvette, who had a child with someone, and he insists on holding on to the child, deeming her unsuitable as a mother. And we promise her to go and look into that situation as well, because of course, I mean, we are nice people, we try to help other people, and she may be working in a place where you would say it's unsuitable for kids, but at the same time, she insists on trying to get her life back on track and give the child a good upbringing. And people deserve a chance, always deserve a chance.
Well,
And now we speak to the NPC in question before. Her and other service providers from this establishment are basically being set aside to entertain the captains. And of course, they are not exactly overly happy about it. And this little lady has information and keys to potential back doors for both of the captains. And she is very, very willing to share with us, because we claim that we are prepared to do something about things. Now, the overarching plot for this region is that you need a captain's seal to get some paper stamps so you can get into the Arcane Brotherhood Tower. A host tower, even, I think it's called. So technically, you only need one seal. Both of the captains want the other captain dead, because that gives them monopoly on control of Luskan, effectively. By the way, going speaking to the loving, caring father of Yvette's child. And he is very, very quick at calling her all sorts of unpleasant things. And I consider him to be the greatest hypocrite ever devised in a role-playing game, because, I mean, she was good enough for his purposes, apparently, but irrelevant. He is apparently willing to give up the child for a bit of money. Now, I see no reason to kill the guy, but I'm fairly sure you have the option to take the baby by force. But despite the fact that he's a royal dick, doesn't necessarily justify flattening him permanently. So I agreed to take the baby off him for some gold coins, which is rather disgusting, to be honest. If he deems her unfit as a mother, well, then what is he as a father? And nothing, absolutely nothing. So I suppose it's done in such a way that you can see two sides of the same coin. But irrelevant of her position, his position is outright disgusting, to be honest. Go and speak to her again to learn that Lady Albers has disappeared without trace. And of course, that is not good if you consider the mood she was in earlier
We can find no
That's
trace of
probably
her.
something worth looking into, but that will come by itself later on as we go along. Regardless, the two captains I
Believe it,
was
Paladin,
mentioning
you've been
earlier,
quite silent since you left port
because they
last.
both want each
I
other
thought
dead, you
perhaps
can
that since you
benefit from
found
that. But
contentment wherever
personally,
the cult was located.
not so much just for gaming the game by gaining multiple experience
Hello
points.
to you.
Oh, by the way, she's very, very happy about getting her child back, and of course, because we are nice people, we refuse any reward and even give her a bit of money. She will probably need some for her and her child trying to build a new life. So we've done what we can in that regard. Never mind, two captains, I will get that point sorted. Don't worry. I would definitely kill them both. They're both incredibly unpleasant individuals that both are very, very happy and proud to admit that they will dominate anyone else in Luskan if given the chance to do so. And we go and speak to Baron first, because I mean, gotta start somewhere, and of course he's the one who's got Lorna's children, and he suggests that we go and kill Kurth. But he also warns us that if we go through the gate, we are basically setting ourselves out as a prime target, and lo and behold, guess what we are going to do? We are going to go through that gate. And yeah, the outcome of that is going to become evident soon enough. But what you can do is, if you decide to kill both, and I would, because they're bastards, you can take the head of one, take it to the other, get the credit for dealing with that captain, listen to a ha ha ha, now I'm the sole ruler of the Luskan kind of speech, and then flatten that person as well. But just milking the situation. Just making sure our health is decent, and then excuse me, you were saying I shouldn't go through that gate? My hearing isn't so good. At least you don't have to pass the gate. As soon as you hit the gate, it opens and everything becomes hostile, and this part will be sped up. But by and large, there will be some serious cuts, because anyone following the series will know that Chapter 2 is basically kill 300 in completely relevant monsters, humanoids, whatever they are. Fight one tough guy, tough girl, whatever. Rinse and repeat. And that has been the predominant thing in this chapter, and more of it was just completely and utterly pointless. I don't know whether people find it annoying that I cut out as much as I do from time to time, but I'm trying to keep the series flowing, and there will definitely be certain sections where I will keep in the fighting in real time and live commentary and all that stuff, because of course this is an after commentary because of the amount of editing required. But when all you're doing is punching your way through hundreds of the same type of enemies for no other reason than to get past them, then for me it feels like a complete waste of any potential viewer's time to watch the monk hit the warrior rogue thing, completely similar to the other warrior rogue thing you've passed 200 of already. Yeah, I mean, it's okay when you play it yourself, but I mean, you have to have a mindset of the fact that someone watching these kind of videos, or these videos, might actually find that excessive bashing about a bit old after a while. But at the same time, as I've said before, I also want to keep the content in to a certain point, but I really insisted on getting this specific bit of Chapter 2 squeezed into one video, which I have. And that required a few shortcuts through editing. By the way, it looks cool when they use a heal potion, that pillar of light, like it's some divine thing. Well, it is divine magic, so I mean that's entirely appropriate. There is a mini quest thing in this area, which I did do, but I haven't shown any mention of it because it was just there's this machine where you, by manipulating several or 4 different handles in different combinations, can create a certain potions. I don't know if there's a limit to how many potions you can create, but I allowed myself to use it to give myself a handful of bull strength potions even. It's nothing you couldn't buy as well, it's free. But there was not much story relevant anything in it, so I decided to just keep it out and only concern myself with whatever actually has any remote story resemblance. So, in this little area we free an elderly woman from a cocoon. And it turns out that she is the nanny of Lorna's children. What Baron has done is he has recruited the oldest of Lorna's children into his army and fused the rest of them to feed his spiders. If you needed more reason to take the head of Baron, this is as good a reason as they come. He has definitely signed his own death warrant right now. He has these buff gargoyle things and you find information about that they are not set yet, so they are breakable. So we break them and then we break him. The captains, they are a bit tough, but I mean, as always we have the power of reload in case something goes horribly wrong. But by and large, they are tougher than all the scrap you are punching your way through on the way, but I'm not impressed. And of course, when the Stunning Fist actually lands and sticks, they're going to be standing doing absolutely nothing for 2 full combat turns, whatever. I always mix them up. Anyway, Baron is down. We'll grab his equipment and his head, because of course we need to sell that head to the other captain once we bump into him. He's definitely proven to be a deceitful individual who's prepared to use someone else's children as spider food, which is yeah. As I said, the writing in this part of chapter 2 is a bit and of course, I mean, we are on Overwatch, so we have to tell the truth. I don't necessarily want to lie to the woman. Then he's lost everything else, and now he has just been told that her children has been either converted to were-rats or eaten by spiders. I wonder how she's going to take that. She basically runs out and suicides herself on some of the enemies or some of Baron's supporters. Lovely. Next up, Kurth, or whatever he's called. And of course we get the same speech from him about how powerful we are, and he's glad that we come to talk to him, and then we get some rewards in exchange for the head of Baron, and ask to get Yvain freed, the sister of the brother we spoke to very early on. And he's basically saying, well, now I'm the only captain, no one can touch me, I will do as I please, so don't expect her to be freed anytime soon. If you go through the gate, blah blah blah, you know, the nonsense we've heard someone else say earlier, and we saw what happened to him. And I can spoil it and say that it's very likely that something similar is going to occur to this individual. Spoiler, we are going to go through the gate. Surprise. Of course, because he's a true villain, he teleports away, just like the other guy did. So now we have to punch our way through loads of stuff in order to go in and face off against him. This guy is actually smart, he's got a healer with him, and apparently he has precast invisibility. But of course we have blind fighting, so once we get close enough to an invisible opponent, we can sense them. So we sense her and make sure that she's down first. And then we take on Kurth, or whatever it's called. I'm fairly sure it's Kurth. He's quite a different kettle of fish from Baron. He's a significantly stronger fighter. But again, I have about 40 heal potions in my bags that will restore me to full health. I can tumble out of the way and recover. His chances of winning this fight is quite small. And by the way, the reason I bought all these heal potions is the fact that as you progress later into the game, opposition is going to get significantly tougher. And at that point, all vendor prices go up, and what will net you about 1800 or set you back about 1800 gold for a heal potion now can easily cost close on 3000 as we go along. So getting them cheap while we can is a good idea. Prison key his head, and I think that is the third set of the ambidextrous razors even. We speak to Elaine, and now that we have broken the wards on the cell, she is actually capable of teleporting out, so that is what she's going to do. I think they put the wrong voice in this character. It is completely inappropriate. That is the voice they usually use for elderly individuals, and she definitely doesn't look like she's elderly. Well, what do I know?
Hello to you.
Anyway, Wayne is quite impressed and surprised by the fact that we have dealt with both of the captains, but they didn't deserve anything less. And we don't get an awful lot of experience for telling her about it, but we get the knowledge that she doesn't have to bow to their demands anymore, ever again. Which is good. And then of course we get to speak to the brother, who is incredibly happy about the fact that we rescued even his sister. And of course, because we are refusing any rewards, because he's suffered enough as it is. We don't need to get anything else. And it's not something I do to game the system. Knowing that you are likely to get experience for being a nice guy. I like being a nice guy. I mean, it's nice to be nice. If you can make people smile by being nice, that gives you that good, warm, fuzzy feeling inside, you know? Anyway, time to do some resting, and then we will be coming up to the end of this part. And in the next part, we will finally go into the host tower itself. So, as for now, thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time. Bye bye.